You focus on that one location, focus on that one horse, get reviews, get it up in pack 3 for lots of keywords, hundreds of them. You can expand that through other stuff. That's a different conversation. Get it up there. By the way, we have a product called Brand Review to help you do check-ins, photos, captions. Every time you do a job, it's putting photo check-ins, captions, and texting and emailing the client direct links to your reviews. Fantastic branded signaling to help your map show up in your website. Okay, guys, it's Nolan Walker here with Roofing SEO Webmasters. And today I'm going to do something kind of fast here, not too long, probably not more than 15 minutes. And the title is Do Not Get Your Roofing GMB Google Map Banned. Do not get your roofing GMB or your roofing Google Map banned. I like doing these sometimes when I just got off the phone with somebody because it's really gives me some fresh content, something to go for. And I guess, where do I want to start with this? I'm going to do let's talk about what a legitimate address is in the eyes of Google, okay? So Google sees a legitimate address as one that is something where you actually run your place of business. Now, let's go back just a little bit and say, back when this first started with Google My Business, which I think they used to call it Google Places, you guys know it as your map. And it started, I think, in 05, like 2005. So it's been like 15 years. And when it first started, they probably just were like, we'll take anybody who wants to send in and register a Google map. We need to get this platform working. Well, a lot of people used it, as you can imagine. And then pretty quickly on, they said, oh, hey, wait a minute. We don't want any P.O. boxes here. That's not really a real address. And the reason they started doing that, now if everybody had only used legitimate addresses and hadn't put up a bunch of phony addresses, then maybe they would have been able to continue doing that. But if a roofer came up and there was some really flagrant industries, I know one of the ones they really don't like is like locksmiths, bail bonds. And roofing's in this group, by the way, of people who wish they had like 100 addresses. I mean, if you're a roofer and you're willing to go to a storm, well, I guess you would take 100 or 500. I mean, why not? If it was free, almost free, and you could just pay for P.O. boxes, and you could have 500 locations across the United States and show up in the map pack 3, no matter where hail, wind, or hurricanes hit, holy cow, you're going to get rich, right? And so that started happening. And Google said, no P.O. boxes a long time ago, like over a decade ago. People still try to put them up. And then people ran to virtual offices. And this was the nature of the conversation I just had with somebody. I'm going to share screen here and show you something in a second too. But so virtual offices, and people try to cloud over it. I am not Google. I am just the messenger. I'm a highly skilled individual with a group of people that work, that do high skilled work for someone legitimately within the rules and regulations of Google to help them get found on the internet on organic or we do paid programs or whatever it is we do. But when we're talking about this is an organic item that we help with legitimate work so that you get a grade from Google, legitimately show up in rankings. People want to call it a share space, virtual office. If it looks like, smells like, adjacent to share space, flex space, virtual office, it is a dangerous thing. People call and kind of, they don't lie to me, but I can tell that something's wrong. So I just had a guy on the phone. I've done this for a long time. I've been in business a long time. So somebody starts going out, and the reason I don't want a bad address, by the way, is because I don't want to go do all this work and have something fail, have it just not even work. And I'll tell you a story that I've told many times about a guy who lost everything. It happens all the time. So why would I want to go up and put up a site, connect to a Google account? Half the benefit maybe at this point is getting your map to show up, and people want the map to show up, and then it doesn't show up. They say, oh, Nolan, it didn't work. Well, dude, you have a fake address, and you don't even know if Google penalized you or not. They just go, poop, shroud it with this black cloud, and you never can get up in ranking because you know you have a fake address. And people will try to do stuff like, oh no, it's a real address. And they'll try to argue it to me, try to trick me. And I'm like, oh, it's a real address. Oh yeah, no, I have an office. And they'll kind of bow up a little bit at me, like, I got an office. You know, I got legitimacy. I got paperwork. It says so at the state. I'm a incorporation. I got attorneys and money, and I'm mean. So I'm just going to come and smack people around. Google's going to do what I say. No, they don't care about you. Could care less. You can stomp around all you want. Doesn't matter. It's their place of business. No shoes, no shirt, no service. That's the right of the business owner. Get out of here. You look like crap. You can't eat in our restaurant. Same thing with Google. Get your phony looking address out. We're not taking it. This is our platform. We're letting you in for free, chump. You're not going to screw us around. In their mind, that's what they're thinking. In your mind, you're like, hey, I want to provide for my family. I want the world. We're going to take over. F-350s for everybody in my family. Wave runner boat on the weekends. Special brews, man. Not that cheap stuff. No more Natural Light or Milwaukee's Best Rust or Pat's Blue Ribbon. We're drinking the good stuff. And I need 10 addresses to show up, Nolan. By God, that's what I'm paying you for. No, people pay us for legitimate services to show up in ranking, which is fantastic. I'll give you an example. Had a guy on March 28th of 2020. It is now June 24th. It has been less than 1 month that hail hit in his market. Big hail, not a ton of it, baseball size hail, hit about 20 some odd thousand homes. He's optimized legitimately in one market. Great organic ranking, great content, great map ranking, reviews. His Google account is doing well, and it's legitimate, and his phone rang over 1,500 times. The phone calls that they have now, 3 weeks later, 3.5 weeks later, are because, where the heck are you? Well, they've had a hard time going to give out inspections and estimates on 1,500 houses. So I'm telling you that. Why? Because he's going to retirable off that one. If he doesn't screw up, if he doesn't raise his expenses and go nuts and buy F-350s for everybody and a vacation house and a wave runner boat, then he's going to retire off that one storm, right? Retirable. He'll keep going, but that's the big one. So why did I tell you that? Because he didn't need 10 locations. By the way, had he done 10 locations, he very easily could have got them all banned or had another problem. Let's talk about ways they can get banned. So Nolan, you're telling me I can't have a P.O. box, virtual space, share space, flex space. I got an office inside a flex space thing. I don't care. Google doesn't care. I don't want to waste my time with you because Google's going to ban you highly probably. And everybody wastes time and money. The way I work with clients, we don't charge much per month. I don't charge money down. People start for a very low fee and then pay a monthly fee. And they have to stay with me a long time. We're not waxing fat starting out, and they're on a month-to-month agreement. So I have no vested interest in starting some shammy crud that isn't going to work. We do high-end work that works like gangbusters, produces 1,500 calls after a hailstorm. And by the way, that town didn't have anybody in it. That wasn't a big town. If that was like one of the big towns, they would have gotten thousands and thousands of calls. They're in a town of like 50,000. It happened that hail hit like crazy right next to them. Wasn't even the same town. It was next to them. Anyway, a lot of people called. So you're telling me, Nolan, that if I have a real office and I paid for it and it's got my name on it and sign on the door, just because they got P.O. boxes and flex space, Google might ban my account? That's what I'm telling you. Go argue to someone else. I hear it every single day. It's exhausting trying to get people to argue their points to me like somehow I'm the magic genie that's going to make it all the fakeness work. Or it's not even fakeness. It's just it's against their rules. I could care less personally. Don't care. Would have loved to put you up 10 addresses, but if they don't work with Google, why would you do that? Now here's the good part. There's a lot of great stuff. You get up in a major market, get your organic going, get your page content, get your reviews, get your legitimate map to show up in GMB. It's fantastic. Can you have 2 legitimate maps? 3? Yeah, you could. If they're legitimate, if they're within the rules of Google, you could. So what is a legitimate location, Nolan? I'm glad you asked. Legitimate locations, one with an office, with a USPS, with a door, with your name next to it, that is manned. That's a legitimate address. You could use a house still, one home, one address. One home, one address. What does that mean? That means that if you get 2 locations, neither one can be a home. You move from your home and you get a commercial address, the home goes away. They don't want you keeping the home for freebies, even if you claim it's a legitimate place that you do business. It's not your rules, it's Google's rules, remember? So if you have 2 locations, can either one be a home? No, not by their rules. Why, Nolan? Because they don't want you keeping that one as a freebie. This is Google's rules. Don't get mad at Nolan. Don't get mad at Roofing SEO Webmasters. Okay, so you can use, tons of contractors work out of their home, and as of today, it still works just fine. We'd rather have a home than an apartment or a condo. And if it came right down to it, I'd take a commercial location. Will the site show up in the entire area? No, not necessarily. It'll show up wherever Google wants it to show up. So let's say that you're in a town like Dallas and you have the cheapest place you could find, which is fine. Again, I don't care. But Google knows where you're located. And Dallas is a big city with over 1 million people in it. And you're down in this section of Dallas, and it's not good houses around you. Are you more likely to show up there because they're geo-tracking people? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So if you are going to go pay for an office, it's going to cost similar anyway. You might want to think about the homes around the office, okay? Sometimes, in most major metropolitan areas, it's been my experience that the nice homes and suburbs matriculate to the north. So if you're in Dallas and you're in the very top of Dallas, that's a good place to be. It's on the edge of Collin County, one of the best hailstorm markets and expensive homes all the way around compared to the stuff down south or east, or well, east is, you get further enough east, it's okay, and west is, anyway. You get the point, right? So unique address, nobody else around. Does it smell like share space? Is there someone next door? Is there someone in the same room with me that's sharing it? Do multiple people count the address? That's not good. I'll tell you how to tell, because this guy was talking to me. I said, hey, sir, can I have the address that you're going to use? He said, sure. I type it in. I said, oh, I see there's executive suites here, liquid space, flex space. Oh, yeah, well, there's stuff in there. I own an office. I said, but we just had a conversation about that. I said, I could tell by the way you were talking that this was a share space. So I asked for the address. Who knows this? Where did I type this in? Into Google. Who mapped the whole world and knows where everybody is? Google. Who, I mean, you can't hide from them. Okay, let's answer this question. Nolan, I know a guy, and he's got a bunch of BS office space all over the place, and it shows up. Yes, there's still a few left. Are there as many as there were a year ago? No. Are there as many as there were 2 years ago? No. 10 years ago, there was nothing but bad addresses up. Nothing but it. If Google doesn't police bad addresses on their site, what happens to the search engine? It becomes a bad search engine. Plain and simple. But Nolan, I'm in Dallas, but I really want to do business in Frisco. Okay, Well, you're not going to do as well in Frisco on mapping or show up there at all on mapping. You can show up there on organic stuff. So, well, I want to show up there. Google will show you where they want to. If you're in Dallas and you want to show up in Frisco, are you as likely to show up there? No, you're not. You're not in Frisco. Excuse me. I should have gotten some water before this meeting. I've been on the phone all day. But like I said, I like doing these when it's fresh on my mind. So I don't want to dog all these places and give you all their names, but any place where you buy a service from that sells P.O. boxes and flex space is not on Google's nice list for a great office space. Let me tell you a story about a guy in Fort Collins who had $5 million a year coming in off of the map only. Fort Collins isn't huge. I think it's 250,000 people north of Denver, college town. He had 30 people working for him. He did $5 million a year in business. He lost everything. But this is a little different. Why, Nolan? Why did he lose it all? He was doing payola for reviews. He paid the salespeople. He paid the clients. Hey, give me a review. I'll give you $100. Give me a review. I'll give you a Starbucks gift card. Give me a review. I'll give you 5% off. Hey, sales guy, give me a review. I'll give you a case of beer. Give you $100 cash. Come on by. I give it to you. No big deal. Cash for everybody for reviews. Google doesn't like that. Payola for reviews. They don't like any of that. If you don't ever use me for services, this is some of the most valuable information you could find, right? He lost it. What did his business go down to, Nolan, after he lost his map? He went down to about $1 million, $1.5 million. He lost almost all of it, laid off 80% of the people that he had. Did he get the site back? No, it's still penalized. He did, well, let me rephrase it. He did get the Google account to go back up. He did. He even got all the reviews put back on. It's got a penalty against it. It won't move up in ranking. Had more reviews than anybody in town. He dropping $100 bills, making it rain for Google reviews, making it rain. Somebody turned him in. Lost his Google account. Okay, how else could you lose a Google account? Trying to think of ways. Keyword stuff in it. Putting all your keywords in it. I'm going to shove all my keywords up here into the name of my company. It's not really the name of my company. Not a good idea. Putting up another address. Trying to get an illegitimate address added when you got a good one. Or tipping the sale. I call it Willie's Gold. I'm getting too old. Goonies. Remember Goonies at the very end? Kid went and tried to take Willie's Gold. And the kid with the asthma inhaler that later was on like Lord of the Rings or something said, don't take Willie's Gold. Leave Willie's Gold alone. Anyway, they didn't touch Willie's Gold. But then remember the evil people that were chasing them? The Fratellis or something? I forgot who it was anyway. The kids got run off, and then they took Willie's Gold and the scale tipped, and the whole wall came down to the side of the mountain, and the ship sailed off into the sunset. They got greedy. So they got greedy. Don't take Willie's Gold. You go open up another location or 2 or 3, be done with it at some point. Nolan, they're all legitimate. I paid for manned offices. They're there. Why do you need a manned office? Man, maybe not all the time, but if nobody ever goes in there and you don't get mail and people go in there and they try to find you and they tell Google, this ain't real. This office isn't real. Enough people turn you in, you lose the office. If they're too close together, you want one, I'm going to get one here and one 5 miles away, one 7 miles away. That's bad too. So they need to look like they're further enough apart. Why does it matter, Nolan? Because the Google algorithm is smart. We don't want to put up fake stuff and try to trick them. We want to work with Google, really smart and do a good job, but we want to do stuff that's legitimate. They don't want their search engine to look bad. You're trying to feed your family and make your dreams come true. I'm trying to help you do that. And Google's trying to protect their algorithm. So just so you understand the whole circle of life here. And so you can be just fantastic online. Does it make sense to have another location? Yeah, I like it. Why? Because you're a roofer. You don't know where it's going to hail. You don't know where it's going to hurricane. You don't know where it's going to have a tornado or a wind, right? The guy that got the 1,500 phone calls, is it going to be a great year? Heck yeah. Is next year going to be maybe even the first quarter? Yep. After that, is business going to slow down a little bit? Yeah, but yeah, it is. Why? Well, they replaced a lot of the roofs. So it would be nice if you had a second location. I'd love to have at least a second one 15 miles away, just in case. And I got both legit, both with reviews. And then I'm waiting. You know, you're waiting for the hail, you're waiting for the storm, you're waiting for that business. But if I didn't have one site going, one address, would I get a second one? No. Why am I ride two horses at the same time, both doing a bad job? You focus on that one location, focus on that one horse, get reviews, get it up in pack 3 for lots of keywords, hundreds of them. You can expand that through other stuff. That's a different conversation. Get it up there. By the way, we have product called Brand Review to help you do check-ins, photos, captions. Every time you do a job, it's putting photo check-ins, captions, and texting and emailing the client direct links to your reviews. Fantastic branded signaling to help your map show up in your website. But I ain't working on the second location till number 1 works. And then I do it as legit. I do it legit. Gosh, a little over 15 minutes. And I covered everything I wanted to. You know, I'd love to hear from you. We got people here. We've been doing it a while. Nobody knows roofing better than me. I love working with roofers. Absolutely love it. Can help residential roofers, can help commercial roofers know what all your materials are. Taught this for a decade. Can help, you know, hail damage guys. You guys got us settled up in a location. You don't always like to do it. I think the hail damage guys are coming around because of the COVID thing's been keeping you from door knocking as much. You're starting to realize the importance. They call it digital door knocking now. I heard somebody say that's ridiculous. And changing it just means you can't knock doors like you used to. And you might want a presence online. Call us. I hope you enjoyed that one. I think it was a good one. See you.